Hi everybody, welcome to Vanessa's Van Life Journey. I am here today to do an interview and a van tour with this lovely lady. She's going to show us her home today, her bus home, and I'll let her introduce herself, and then we're going to get into the interview and you can learn a little bit more about her.
Hi, my name is Mariah. This is my brain damaged rooster, Lindy. I used to be a bird rescue, and he is one of the birds that I have left over. Okay. Hi, my name is Mariah, and this is my little brain damaged rooster, Lindy. He's left over from my bird rescue days. I used to have a bird rescue. So how I got interested in van life was, like I said, I had the bird rescue. I was living with my daughter and 2 grandkids, and my daughter came to me and basically said that she was ready to go her own way. And I just felt like I was losing everything. My daughter, my grandkids, my rescue, my animals, and felt pretty suicidal, pretty terrible. And so I kind of threw that in her face, like, what am I gonna do? Where am I gonna live? And she says, well, you know, I can give you the van. I had a little minivan at the time. And so I said, yeah, great. I'll just go live in the van, like trying to make her feel guilty. And so for a few days I was pretty sad and just kind of laid in bed depressed. And then one day I decided to start looking up van life. And I found Bob Wells on YouTube and saw him teaching women my age how to live in a van, where to poop, how to shower, and I was immediately interested and knew that I would turn my minivan into a little home. Within 3 days I hired someone and we started working on the van. I went out, I actually met Bob Wells, did a little tour, and on the way home the minivan was totaled. So I wanted a schoolie to begin with, and so I think the universe gave me what I wanted initially and what I was afraid to do. It was just a really hard way of going about it, but I did end up with this beautiful schoolie, and so I want to show you guys a tour.
So how long have you been living as a nomad?
Since 2020. I started off in a minivan, it was totaled, and then with the money I got the little school bus.
Okay.
Which is much nicer, being able to stand and not shuffling all the time. I was so used to shuffling things to get to something else, and so this actually, I promised myself that I was not going to put so much stuff in here that I had to shuffle. I did not want to do that.
So what year is your school bus?
It's a 85, so I think it's vintage.
Mm-hmm.
Like me, we're vintage.
Did you paint the outside?
I did. It was gray when I got it.
Okay.
So I painted this side lavender because I want to put a forest scene with Bigfoot, and then I painted the other side kind of like a sand color because I want to do a desert scene with a UFO.
So have you done a lot of DIYs since you've had your school bus?
Yes, and that's something I never did before. When I started this, when I had the minivan built, I hired someone, and then I got this, and the someone that I had hired had moved away. And I waited and I waited, and he never came back, and I finally realized I'm gonna have to do this myself. So good old school of YouTube. I learned how to put a drill bit in, and that was the start of learning how to build this thing. I came from not knowing anything.
So what are some of the lessons that you've learned along the way having to do it yourself?
I learned that it's rewarding. Like, I wake up every morning and just smile. Like, wow, I built this. It's one of the hardest things I've ever done besides giving birth. My mind just does not work this way, so many days I would just lay on the floor and cry. But it was so worth it. So if you're in the process of your build, don't give up. You'll get there. And don't wait for it to be perfect or Instagram perfect. You know, if you can get on the road now, do it. You will not regret it. I tried to make everything perfect, and I wish I would have gotten on the road sooner than staying in a friend's driveway forever.
So you feel like you learned more along the way to prepare you for the nomad life?
Yeah, I mean, I did a lot of research. I'm a researcher, so that That's what I find fun, actually, is kind of doing a lot of research. But it doesn't matter how much research you do, you're never going to be fully prepared until you get out here and do it. But research definitely is important. You know, when I did the build, I made sure that I had a system, like a water system, and then a backup system, a solar system and a backup system, which is like my jackery, you know. So, because too many times I would watch people, you know, be out there and something go wrong and that's it. So I made sure I had a backup system was important for me.
Do you travel alone all the time?
Yeah, I'm alone all the time unless I have my grandkids, which is 1 month out of the year I take them. But otherwise, yeah, alone with a bunch of animals.
So what are some of the places that you've gotten to go and see and explore?
I haven't really gotten to do a whole lot. I went to Rubber Tramp Rendezvous and the van build and all that in 2020. And then on the way back, the van was totaled. So for a year, I fought with the insurance company, lived in the van until I got this. Then I lived in this and built it up until April last year. So, and then from there, I went to Lost Lake in Oregon and just worked up there the whole summer and came back, got my grandkids, went to the hot springs. But the entire trip home, I planned on hitting all these hot springs on the trip home. It was incredible. So I haven't really traveled a lot.
But you're enjoying van life?
I love it. There's nothing else
bus life.
in the world. Nothing else in the world I would rather be doing. It's so freeing. And for me, I say I'm becoming a feral human, which to me means getting rid of all the ideas that people have that we're taught. Like when we're born, we don't have these ideas of racism and, you know, just all these queer phobias, and I have to look a certain way, and I should wear makeup, and I should shave my legs, and I should wear pink because I'm a girl. And like, I don't want to do that anymore. I want to be out here by myself where there's nothing to influence the way I think. Like, I don't watch the news and stuff like that, and see how feral I can get. Like, will I stop shaving my legs? Will I, just how crazy am I going to get? Like, I just don't want to do the norms anymore. I'm just over it.
So do you think you will ever go back to home life again?
Never.
Are you still mad at your daughter?
No. No. Finally, she said something to me that made all the sense in the world. She came to me and she said, "Mom, I was living your dream."
Mm-hmm.
And that's what hit and made me realize, like, oh my God, I am so proud of you for coming to me and saying, you know, hey, look, I'm not happy. Because I homeschooled her to be a strong child and not one of the sheep, you know what I mean? And she was being one of the sheep because she was afraid of my reaction, you know? So I'm so proud of her for standing up when she wasn't happy and going and chasing her dream, because that's the child I raised.
So how is your mental health now that you've entered into bus life?
It is actually much better. I used to spend sometimes months in bed, not showering, not caring. I've been in and out of the psych ward 30 times. And I don't know, something has definitely changed. I knew I had the kids, my grandkids, for Thanksgiving. For Christmas, they were gone.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of like wanted to lay in bed. And I just kind of knew, like, it's starting. And I just thought to myself, like, well, we're not doing that. And I'm going to go back to the hot springs. And the people were there that we met on Thanksgiving. It was beautiful. We had a beautiful time.
So was this lifestyle basically a lifesaver for you?
Definitely. Yeah. Like, before, it was my animals. You know, I have to get up, I have to take care of them. But in the schoolie, I can have them with me. Mm-hmm. You know, like, he doesn't eat or drink on his own. So I have to get up, I have to take care of him. And now I can do that and be out in nature, which is the most healing thing there is.
So do you have any regrets about this lifestyle?
Absolutely not. No. This is the best thing that's ever happened to me. And it wasn't even supposed to happen. You know what I mean? I was supposed to live in this big old house and with the white picket fence and be married, and you know, that's what society tells you. And honestly, this is the happiest I've ever been in my whole life.
So if you've had to do anything over again, what would you do over again?
I wish I could have done this a lot younger, but younger me would not have been mentally ready for this. So I think everything happens in the time that it's supposed to. So I think I had a lot of learning and growing up to do.
So for the people out there that want to start van life, nomad life, bus life, RV life, what are some tips that you would give them?
Don't get a cassette toilet. And I'll tell you this because I bought the cassette toilet initially thinking it's most like an actual toilet. It flushes, that sounds really good to me. But what they don't tell you is these things burp. So when they get hot, if you flip it open, when you open that part where the solids go down from the heat, it will burp up in your face and your own stuff will land on your face. Yeah, so that happened twice and I got rid of that toilet. And you can't make this stuff up. It was just disgusting. So yeah, no cassette toilets if you're gonna be in the heat.
So any other learning experiences, anything about safety, traveling as a solo female?
I think a lot of the traveling as a solo female safety issues are mostly made up to scare us and keep us from doing it, honestly. I don't feel unsafe out here by myself. I feel unsafe in town by myself, where the people are, where the people who do things like that are murderers, rapists. They're not out here in the middle of the desert. You know, I think as a society, we teach women that we're supposed to be afraid. We're not supposed to do things by ourselves. And I think a lot of that is because we're taught to be nice and, you know, always be kind. And you don't have to. If someone is being malicious to you, if a man is being weird, that's when you need to stand your ground, you know. So I don't know, I think a lot of it is made up.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to share with us or leave us with? Any final thoughts you'd like to leave the audience with?
Nope, pretty brain dead right now. I'm just looking at the mountains and the birds, and I'm so relaxed I can't even think.
Yeah. Well, we thank you for this little short interview, and we're going to get into your van tour and see your beautiful home.
Thank you so much.
Would you like to tell my subscribers where they could find you?
It is called the Da Vinci Road. It's like the Da Vinci Code. It's THEDAVANCIROAD.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
He trying to get out. What do you want? I could sit here all day, you guys. Beautiful. Say hey. Say hey. What you doing, Vanessa? Watching God.